Okie dokie, guys. I should be live. Hi, and welcome to this top 20 Primarchs. Long time coming, but we are finally here. Long time coming, but just to stop my sound, there are some YouTube issues, so I'm sorry that I'm late. But I no longer see the chat as before, so I'm not sure what's happening. I will have to watch it from the regular page that you are writing in because I don't see it here. I want to try to bring it up, but yeah, apparently I can't. So yeah, I'm not sure what YouTube are doing. But never mind, guys. We have a long road ahead of us because 20 freaking Primarchs, more like 18. But you know what I mean. So let me just check my window now where you are, and I'm still really interested about the disappearing of the chat, but at least I can see it on the normal page. So first, huge thank you to James for his amazing support. Thank you very much, James. Of course, always just amazing. Welcome to you as one of my Primarchs. Welcome to Clayton, Ivy, of course, Dark, Nina is already here as well. Awesome, guys. Oh, Logar. I'm seeing some new people. Wolfgang, Blade, hi to you. Oh, Patrick. Okay. Okay, guys. So once again, as I said, a bit technical difficulties. That's why I'm late. But now we are ready to begin. Dark Elder fashion, more like Empress. This is my golden variant of the Empress clothes because I don't have, the armor. If I did had it, I will not be able to fit into the frame at all. I will be like two here, It's gonna be so fun. Okay, guys. So starting. Let me explain how I'm going to reason with this top 20. So I heard a lot of other fans, speak about why they like other Primarchs. I mean, each and every Primarch, and you as well. You also let me know about some of your favorite Primarchs. So everybody has their ways of liking a character particularly, and my reasoning for liking a character in general is based on their attributes, their values, so to speak, value system, how they think, act, all those things. And I'm not so much of a person that so to speak, appreciates the negative, of course. I mean, for me, that's like no brainer, but a lot of people a lot of people a lot of people actually appreciate some villainous qualities, but I'm not one of those people. So when it comes to the Primarchs, they're very flawed, all of them, even the ones that are not trader Primarchs. They're like flawed. They all have some, well, it's either like literal flaw or it's lack of wisdom, and they basically are very immature, as you know, in some ways. They have arrogance, or they think too much of themselves when it's not appropriate, or where it is. I mean, it's complicated. You know how different they are. So, thank you very much, dear Clayton. But no, we have to start with 20. They are 20, although we do not know the other two. Okay, well, and Vartos, hi to you. So let's start, guys. So first, number 20 is the Primarch that we don't know about, of course. You know how they did in the Vox logs? That seems absolutely reasonable to me, so I totally agree with that. Number 20 is the Primarch that probably was killed and we don't know about him at all. Number 18, 19. Number 19 is the Primarch that we also don't know anything about. whoever that is. So yeah, two Primarchs that are mystery and their history, so to speak, and who knows what the heck happened to them. Probably Lehman Russ killed them, but yeah, who knows? Who knows? So as far as I understand, that was like a move that Games Workshop did, so we can come up with our own legions and all that. So the Primarchs and their legions were brutally murdered, probably. One was called the Forgotten Legion, and one was called the Purge or something like that. So that just hints that one was forgotten somehow, like what they're put it somewhere in the galaxy. They just forgot about it, like what happened there. Yeah, and one was killed, so one was like left somewhere on an isolated planet, and you know just be like, okay, you guys do whatever you wish and bye bye. Maybe. And one was, oh no, this is gonna be totally purged. So yeah. Okay, continuing now with the real chart. I had to just insert some humor there because it's just humorous to me. Okay, so starting with number 18. So once again, this is from worst to best in my opinion. And it's very important to notice, guys, that due to my entrance yeah, due to the fact that 40K is so vast universe and I have not read everything yet, of course that in my initiation, continuous, maybe never ending initiation of 40K, I may change my opinion at some point. But if I do, of course, maybe I'm gonna make like an update chart. If not, just not. But till then, this is going to be the top 20. So, number 18, we have Alfarius and Obagon. So this Primarch is is like it counts for one, but there are two Primarchs that are twins, but it counts like as a one, which is a bit confusing to me. But yeah, they count as a unit, as like a one Primarch. So those guys are pretty mysterious, and yeah, their lore is not that fleshed out, at least in some aspects, just a bit less or more than the other Primarchs. And to me, only their legion is a bit more interesting. But other than that, I'm kind of indifferent to them, and I don't really find them very, very interesting, so to speak. Okay, so yeah, just nothing more to say about them. Basically, they're just yeah, I'm pretty much indifferent on them. I don't see something in particular that would impress me that much in order to like them, so it's basically like more indifferent than anything else. Okay, now number 17 is Horus. Horus Lupercal. I'm gonna break my tongue here. So Horus, as you know, is the amazing guy, that is with sarcasm, that did the Horus heresy. Of course, before him was Logar, but that's long story, you all know it. The point is that Horus, I put him here because I just I just don't like what he did, Of course that I don't. I mean, he had so much potential. Of course, he was the Emperor's favorite son. He was such a military leader. He's so much, so many things. He's like the complete warrior and leader, and just so yeah. He's great. So for him to fall this way, it's like very upsetting in so many levels, and that's why I dislike him so much. Because when I, listened to the second book of the Horus Heresy, false gods and understood how he fell, it was just a bit ridiculous. I mean, to a point he didn't believe what was happening. He questioned it, but then all of a sudden he was all up for it, and yeah, I'm gonna betray the emperor. Let's start, to do whatever I want now. And yeah, uh, it was pretty horrible, pretty much. So that I do not appreciate at all, because for me to be manipulated in this way, still see the flaws and understand how he was manipulated, because he understood who did it and everything. When Magnus appeared, he started talking with him, and then the other guy has to be revealed. I mean, he had to reveal himself. And he still went with it. He still decided that yes, those powers that just let me know what the emperor is. I mean, is not sure. The future that they showed him and all of that is absolutely true. So of course I'm gonna just be I'm gonna be the emperor now. So there are so many things that could be said about that. So he deserves to be like at the very last spots to me, because the higher you are, the harder you fall. So this is where he fell, in number 17. Now, next. Now we can discuss fault of Logar or whatever that is. You cannot say that is somebody else's fault in the way that it's like saying, well, Horus should be this intelligent being. They repeat in all the novels how intelligent all the Primarchs are, what wisdom they hold. Then all of a sudden, that's not true. I mean, they say it, but what the Primarchs are actually doing or saying is the total opposite. They're like spoiled brats, like immature teenagers. I mean, in a way, they are immature teenagers. They didn't actually have a normal upbringing and all of that, but emotionally they are very easily manipulated, and they just jump to conclusions. It's ridiculous. I mean, such emotional level I only seen in some Turkish TV shows where everybody are like, "You are pregnant? Yes. Who did it? Ismail. Okay, I'm gonna kill that guy. Ah, sounds reasonable." So yeah, I mean, he in the first book he seemed so like more level-headed. He didn't want to attack the interacts, not before the situation escalated and it was like out of his hands all of a sudden. But yeah, I mean, he displays some good qualities of a leader. In the same time, he's like, "Huh, I have a pride. The emperor will forsake me and just gonna use me as a weapon. Huh, I'm gonna become the emperor myself. Oh God," something like that. Basically happened. So yeah, that's why. And the other thing, that I wanted to say real quick is once again about the point about whose fault was it? Well, once again, guys, when somebody else is trying to trick you and you have your doubts, but you still go through it, you're also to blame. So the two people are to blame when it's, a matter of somebody is either trying to sell you something and all of that. You also have to have your head on your shoulders. You cannot only blame the other person if you also let him do whatever he wanted to do to you, but I mean, all the Primarchs that fell had some seed in them, some characteristics in them that led to this point. Some weakness that it was exploited in some way or another and led to that state. Anyway, continuing. So, number 16. Conrad Curse. So, yeah. Conrad Curse, one of those trader Primarchs that I really, really, really don't like. Once again, because of his disgusting nature, his brutality, cruelty, all of the negative qualities that I can be sitting here and, you know, just listing them like all night, basically. Psycho Batman, yeah. I'm gonna, you know, check your comments as soon as I can, but I just don't want to, you know, don't want to forget my thoughts because there's so many Primarchs and there are too many numbers here, and it's 11 o'clock at night. So Conrad Curse, as some of you know, I read the Night Lords omnibus. I got familiar with his legion after the Horus heresy, how they were without their Primarch, and from that angle I got some perspective on you know, Conrad himself. Then, you know, I did that video about how he had this conversation with the Emperor, rising from this corpse that Conrad made. The other thing that really impressed me about him in a bad way is how he tortured Vulcan and he killed him multiple times. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous. How is this word? Like, not only evilness, but like malicious, like with intent. You know, just very, very extremely degraded and evil. So, yeah. In a lot of ways, he's worse than Horus. I mean, in a lot of ways, and yeah, in some ways. And he is more nuts because he does have this insanity factor in him. But at least he didn't do the whole thing, so that's why Horus is after him. But yeah, that's about Conrad Curse and how much I dislike the guy. Next is somebody just wonderful. It's Logar. So number 15 is Logar from the Word Bearers. The Bearers of the Word that actually didn't bear any true words at the end of the day. But yeah, Logar is, well, at least I perceive him this way. He is the least man of all the Primarchs. So if everybody are manly men in some way, he's like the least of a man. So yeah, he's a big loser basically. Pardon my French. Well, what to tell you about Logar? He was just so fanatical about his worship of his father. And when I got to that story of how the emperor humbled him and how he tried to speak to Logar to say, Logar, my son, I'm not actually, you know, a god. You got this all wrong. You know, my whole point is not to preach this type of religion and all of that. I'm paraphrasing here. And Logar was like, no, but look at you, you are a god. Well, now, the point was for him to understand that he is not one to be perceived as a god in this current time and all of that, but he still persisted with his thinking, and then he was like, well, if the emperor doesn't want to take my worship, I'm gonna worship the chaos gods. Like, what? Makes sense? Yes, go with it. So yeah, he to me is very confused and just didn't know how to you know, how to assimilate his father and his goal, although that is under question, you know, it's not set in stone. The intentions of the emperor, you can always debate that. That's not the point. The point is that as a man and as a warrior, he wasn't the best warrior, that too. He was like the priest of the Primarchs, but he was just like the lower life of the Primarchs, you know what I mean? So yeah, just a lesser guy, just with less qualities, more fanaticism, yes, which means less logic and less wisdom. So yeah, just fanatic basically, which is never good. I mean, he was out of the realm of any kind of objectivity about himself, his legion, and his emperor in any kind of a way. So in this state of mind, he cannot even figure out if he's right or wrong or which way is up. It's just, yeah, he's a lost cause. So Logar. But I just despise him. Well, despise is a strong word. I don't really care to despise anyone, that much. The point is that compared to Conrad and all of that, he's like a bit less of a evil. I mean, he still did one of the worst things ever, starting the whole, course of the heresy. But the point is that at least when you compare the two, he seems at least that he's not so sadistic, let's say. Okay. Next, it's very hard to say who is less bad, when you weigh everything, but let's just say. Next, number 14, I think, right? Engram. So, Mr. Engram, I still remember Bricky, when I covered his video, when he said that he was so angry that he removed part of his brain just to be more angrier. Like, that's not true. Not, at least how I know it, so to speak. It's a bit sad story about him, how he was slave and he got all of those nails into his head, and he's suffering all the time and he's in pain, and he wanted to inflict the same pain on his legion, and then the emperor said, no, don't do that to your Astartes, please. But to me, from what I know about him, he also displayed some cowardness at times. So he's just like very, very angry, but he's also, how to say this? He doesn't have like an established character of himself. He just goes by this emotion because it is coming from his pain, so to speak, and there's not that much of a depth in him for me to really, put my finger on particular thing that I could like or not like about him. He's just like a killing machine, basically. And now that I'm on the oh, Jesus Christ, there's so many names in my head right now. Yeah, now I'm just in this part of Galaxy and Flames where Lokin, I think, I'm sorry if I butchered his name, he's talking to one of his guys, his Astartes, and they were like, well, we are so brutal, but that's awesome, because if it wasn't for us, many battles will not be won, and all of that, because his warriors do manage to purge quick and to bring worlds to compliance a bit faster. But yeah, they're brutal. So yeah, that's about him. Okay, next, number 13. 13, so almost at the top 10. Almost at the top 10. Fulgrim. So, Fulgrim, that is a Slaanesh prince, so to speak. Currently, but we are, or at least I am just thinking about all the Primarchs before they became whatever they became or died. So I forgot to mention that. So I'm thinking of Fulgrim before he became a demon, So Fulgrim, I would say first what I like about Fulgrim, which is the fact that he looks like Lothar a bit. Lothar, he's from Voltron. Maybe you've seen Voltron. Who hasn't? But if you haven't, that's a prince, an alien prince. And Lothar is, yeah, looks like him, but his skin is blue. I always was very fascinated with guys, with characters that look like this, like with white hair and very awesome faces and just pale skin. I don't know why, but I'm just fascinated with this look. It just kind of looks amazing. I don't know. And there's new series, Netflix series that are just super awesome about Greek mythology. There's one more character there that is the same type, and he's once again something like a demon. Gods and heroes and Blood of Zeus. So yeah, Blood of Zeus, amazing show. If you can watch it because just wonderful. So yeah, anyway, Fulgrim. I love also Their whole armor purple and gold. My favorite color is purple, and gold is one of those things that just it's also my favorite. I don't know if I can call it a color, but yeah, I mean that combination is just amazing. That's what I want to say. And well, he's a very strong warrior, and well, yeah, I don't know what else to say about him. Just a bit sad that he fell, and then they clothed him, I think, and now he's good or something like this. If that counts as returning. I don't think that the clone is the same as the original in any kind of a way, but I mean, that actually replaces the person completely, but that's another topic. The point is, yeah, Fulgrim. I do not dislike him that much. I think that he would be a great Primarch and like one of my favorites if he didn't fail, basically. Uh, full blown Slanesh? No, no, no. I mean, Slanesh will hate me a lot, actually, because I'm just the opposite of Slanesh. Everything is in moderation, harmony, and yeah, harmony and balance, and everything. Okay, but I do share his Fulgrim's strive to perfection in every kind of a way, uh, for sure. So yeah, I mean that could lead to other accesses of things. Maybe that's why he fell to Slanesh, because Slanesh is like to the max of everything, to the max, which can be interpreted as perfection. And he does have also this side of the coin, so it's logical that he would fall to that god rather than the other. Just makes perfect sense. Okay, next up, guys, is very surprisingly, actually, I'm even surprised by this. Number 12, thank you, Ivy, thank you very much, you're helping me here, is Mortarian. So Mortarian, uh, well, I was fascinated about, his story and how he fell to this world that was just all around with this poison gas, but he was a Primarch, so he survived. But he also did help some people to save them and all. I mean, he did had some like redeeming positive qualities, you can say, at the beginning at least. Then when the Emperor wanted to take him, he was like, no, thank you. And his fall to Nurgle then was a bit like almost accidental, you can say. But what there we guys. I mean, I just like some aspects of him that I mean some of his qualities like initially. Then his legion is not that bad. I mean, before they became what they became, and he had one super badass captain in his legion as well, Nathaniel Garro, if I'm not mistaken. I actually can't believe how I'm remembering all of those names, but I am studying 40K like all day, every day, literally. And I'm starting to remember the names because I'm an artist, I draw, and maybe it's not only because that, but usually I'm very good in remembering faces, everything that is visual. But when it comes to names, I just want extra like effort of me to remember names. So the other thing is that helps me is that all the names at 40K are pretty unique, and they have some, if not Greek mythology, something else, some other culture that those names remind me of, and they are kind of taken actually from there. So that helps me because I am fascinated with all of those ancient cultures. So yeah, Mortarian is here, and now he's like a big moth, but he's still around. And that conversation and fight, I think it was almost a fight that he had with Gulliman, was also interesting. And the fact that I'm really also fascinated by the fact that he is, fighting for Nurgle, conquering for Nurgle, and he actually fights against the other gods for Nurgle, and his legion is pretty unstoppable because they actually uh, inflict diseases upon their enemies, and they can even, yeah, they can even like, you know, do a corona. I'm kidding. On Tyranids. So that's crazy. I mean, whoever can somehow hurt the Tyranids or the orcs, because that's also what I understand, is just freaking powerful. Okay. So next one, number 12, 12, right? Is Perturbo. Oh, 11, sorry, 11. So yeah, I started to lose count. So Perturbo, what to tell you? He just reminds me of Engram so much. Maybe it's because of all of those things that are on his head. He is just so immature. Yeah, the man child. There's nothing much that I like about him, rather than the fact that he was in that Greco-Roman culture, and he did some things at the beginning, like he rose to have risen to some kind of a stature, so to speak, but then he did horrible, horrible things to his own world, which I do not respect, and he just lost himself completely, and even half of his legion was disgusted by his actions. So I cannot say that I have much of a respect for him, honestly. I mean, what is to like about him? I cannot think of anything that I'll be like, oh yeah, it's awesome to be under, Perturabo, or to serve with him, or to be his Primarch brother. I just prefer to be like a lot far away. Like far away from him as humanly possible. Okay, next. Enough about Perturabo. So, we are starting the top 10. The top 10. I'm gonna drink a bit of water because talking so much non-stop is, Okay, so, number 10, if I can say it like in in a more epic way. Number 10. We have Magnus. Magnus the Red, guys. So Magnus, once again, I'm going to start with what I like about him. He just became like such a favorite character in TTS because he's ridiculously obnoxious, but he is also, he's like super interesting, annoying, obnoxious, but in the same time, he's like so amusing. And I just can't wait to hear him say, "Companion, companion, go fetch me this, companion." What do you mean, companion? It's amazing. It's amazing. I gotta, I have to rewatch one of these episodes because I missed them. Having no TTS is actually hard on me. But yeah, Magnus. So what I appreciate about him is that he is red because that somehow looks very cool. And his psychic abilities, being only second to the Emperor, it's pretty amazing. I don't think that, the fact that the Emperor forbid him to use his powers, that was just a bit ridiculous, like counterproductive. He could have cultivated a number of very powerful psychers to be by his side fighting against the powers of the warp. If he started this process and if he had control over it the whole time. Of course, he was busy with the webway, but I think that could be a huge power in his hands if he can, if he can wield it, if he can establish some kind of infrastructure, you can say, in order to, cultivate these, the best psychers and these legions. I mean, his legion. Magnus Legion to work for him, and then if he shows that he appreciates Magnus and what he achieved, because he had this natural curiosity as the best amongst all the Primarchs, in terms of psychic abilities, that was something that drew him supernaturally. And he couldn't help to explore it because it was his nature. So I really appreciate that fact that he was so gifted and he just wanted to understand, wanted to, to explore, to learn. It wasn't his intent to fall to chaos. Uh, so his immaturity and arrogance, all of that could have been taught out of him, and he could have reached wisdom along with this knowledge that he would have gained more and more from the warp and from his psychic abilities. I mean, in general, from all of that. And I think that the emperor maybe just, well, not maybe, but he did neglected him in a way that just turned around and bit him in the ass at the end, as we know. So I think that Magnus has a ton of potential, and he was just lost. And when you have this kind of a power in the face of Magnus, and you lose the control of that. I mean, I'm talking from a perspective of the Emperor. Just ridiculous. Like, you have this asset and you just don't respect it enough to work with that asset, with that son of yours, and to make him the best that he can be. I mean, I do think that the Emperor could have done so much better with all the Primarchs, and just spend more time with each of them, working on their strengths and ironing out their weaknesses, so they can be the best for the Imperium, the best for themselves as well, the best for the Emperor. Like, everybody wins. But that didn't happen. So for me, it's just one of those examples in 40K that just lacks wisdom so much. I mean, it's no brainer. Like, you have Primarchs. That's the only Primarchs that you have. They're not like the Astartes. You'll not make more, at least not that we know of. They do not make more Primarchs. So you have these gems basically in your disposal. Yeah, you lost them. Yeah, that happened. They didn't grow up with him. Okay. But then, like, make the best of it. When he found each and every one of them, he did had some time in between finding the next and the next, that he could have, like, teach them more, not just, oh, you're going to a training camp and you're going to, like, this and that to learn all the Imperium ways, learn how we fight. Here's your legion. Oh, did you meet each other? It's great, awesome, go to crusade. Like, don't do that. Okay. So that's just ridiculous. It's counterproductive and counterintuitive. I just don't get it. Why would you do that? You have to take these gems. They're like literal diamonds that are not yet fully revealed, and you have to do the best that you can do to reveal that diamond and to make it the best as you can. So just Magnus is that example, and I think that he really could be one of my favorite Primarchs if he was utilized better, if he was taught better, and all of those things. But enough about that. Just in 40K, I can just, like, talk and talk. So number number 9 is, yeah, Ferris Manus. So Ferris Manus, one of those Primarchs that, I don't know, I kind of feel that he's not maybe that fleshed out. Well, what to tell ya? I mean, I like that he was, this very interesting warrior, just so strong. And in one of his stories, he actually fought a giant and he lifted, like, a mountain, I think, was it, or mountain range. I'm not sure, but if that happened, he's like, what, strong as Superman? That's crazy. And when he fought this creature, Necron creature, or I'm not sure what creature was it, he was, his hands were, covered with that same metal that was like a living metal and as strong as ceramite. Amazing stuff. Just I just love that. Just that's so cool. I love it. But then his legion started to want to replace their hands with iron hands, and he ended up like removing the. He didn't like that, so he wanted to remove the the iron from his hands. Although they made him stronger, more durable. Yeah, I also don't get that. Why would he do that? I mean, that was like his trophy in a way from that kill that he did. That's something that he earned in that battle, and it was perfectly infused with him. It was part of him. Why would he get rid of that? Oh Jesus! Like, just say to the Legion, please don't cut out your hands and just be human, please. I mean, Astartes. Yeah, I mean, his Legion reminds me of the Adeptus Mechanicus that are like, flesh? Huh! Yucky, you know? But I just like him because he's like, he's warrior somehow type. Although, Fulgrim killed him, but that doesn't mean that he's not strong and all of that. I just wonder how that would go. I imagine a Primarch battle would be something super glorious and like supersonic boom waves should happen when they hit each other, because if all of that strength that it says that they have, if that is really the case, then when they fight, that there should be like some kind of a waves of, I don't know, but imagine it's gonna be very, very epic to behold. But yeah, I'm just sad that he's not alive for now. But let's continue with number 8. Number 8 is Leman Russ. So, Leman Russ reminds me of Thor. And he kind of is. I mean, he kind of is the Thor of the 40K. I mean, there's so many similarities, and even his sword is called like Millionaire. Okay. It's just very hard to say, but uh, he's one of those examples of Primarchs where they fall into a particular planet that somehow, some way is actually connected to their nature. Yeah, because I mean, Vulcan fell into a planet that was, yeah, I mean, it was like he had all of those things that the planet and the people there already had. In a way, I mean, he wasn't dark and all of that. That was the atmosphere. But the point is that somehow, some way, all the Primarchs and the planets that they fell on are kind of connected to how they are and what is their potential initially, because they do have some things, qualities to them initially that they're already like embedded in them, and each and every planet that they went on, that they arrived on, just helped develop exactly that, if you know what I mean. So with him, they in his legion, they even have fangs, which, like, okay. So a lot of interesting stuff, but he's a strong warrior. Emperor, the emperor likes to use him for some missions, like go kill this Primarch. Uh, yeah, he's not like the strongest guy, but he is one of those guys that really, really manly men, so to speak. And he did out-eat the emperor and out-drink him, I think. Out-drink him. Yeah, beat him in the contest of drinking. So I like this type of a warrior that is really like, brother, yes, I will fight you now. Not That's not a literal example, and then how he disappeared, and where is he now? He saw something, some kind of a vision, and he just took like a few of his men, I think, and just disappeared to the webway. So he may return someday and to help the Emperor come back. I don't know. I just can't wait to find out, in the ninth edition, something should happen. Okay, so yeah, that's another topic. But yeah, as a warrior, as this type of a warrior, like the manly men with the long hair that are just like that, he's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fight any man. I'm not afraid of anyone. I have this resolve. I just like that quality of him. Next, number 7, which is actually the sacred number. Yes, thank you, Jerry. Number 7 is Korax. So, I got first fascinated with him when I watched TTS and how he was presented there. It's so funny, how he can appear from somewhere and just like, poof, hello. Just great, how he can use this power, one of the coolest powers, to become invisible, although some scanners can pick him up, but in terms of battle, no, not really. And this amazing moment with him and the Emperor when the Emperor came and just presented himself, came out from the ship and he was like, Korax was trying to see him. He saw like normal man, and he saw like the godly figure, and he was confused. It's amazing moment. I covered that in a separate video. If you haven't seen it, it's still a recent video. I just love it so much. And him is this guy that is close to a raven. That is, well, he is the guy with the raven guard, I think. That's the only thing that I'm still. The raven guard. All the legions are a bit more harder to remember on the top of my head compared to the Primarchs. So yeah, he is just what to tell you? I mean, he just cool. I mean, I like him. He is cool in a lot of ways, and he was able to fight on his world, and he wanted to really free his people. So he had this nobleman factor into him. So he actually has virtues. He's not like without them. Well, he's not like perfect and goody two shoes, but he does have some virtues, and he was so excited to meet his father. Yeah, I just like the guy and great power. Next, we have number 6, Jagatai Khan. So Jagatai Khan is also very fascinating to me because once again he has one of the qualities that I respect, which are like noble warrior, and he also cares about his people. He also did strived to become the leader and to defeat the bad guy, so to speak, of his planet. And he just a very, very cool warrior. He fought very bravely at the defense of Terra, although he does have some conflict with the Emperor and the fact that the Imperial truth for him is a lie, which, yes, it is. And there's a very fascinating conversation with him. And Malkador, the Sigillite, in which Malkador is trying to explain how revealing the truth about the warp to people that are not, really prepared for that will not do the Imperium any good. So he was just trying to explain also how the Emperor thinks and how being such a high level being is not easy for him to express like a bit more love or relatability to his Primarchs because he just has so many things on his head. And it's interesting, but he is like the manly man warrior who just very respects openness, and he wants to be truthful and real, and he expects the same from his superior. I mean, his emperor, his brothers. So he is a bit more like isolated also. I understand that. I mean, I can relate to how you can be like warrior that has its own qualities, know his own worth, knows what he is good at, what his legion is good at, the bikes and well, their battle tactics as well. All those things. I mean, he knows his value, and he appreciates, true honesty and all of that. So he is one of those guys that I would say, yeah, he's closer to a more sane person, and he's closer to like a true honorable warrior, a bit more in a way than some of the others. So that's why he's number 6. Number 5. So we are now in the top 5, guys. Top 5. Finally. Thank you, dear Ivy. Top 5. We have our awesome and amazing RoboDorn. So, RoboDorn. Once again, my associations now are so connected to TTS that I'm just imagining that yellow big figure with the beard and the cute nose and lips, and just like, no. Or, boy. No boy. No father. I am not a piece of... Oh, whatever. I mean, I'm always like, you're so literal. Well, he maybe is not that much in the books, but yeah, in TTS, he's just the best. So fun. But what I do appreciate about RoboDorn, that he is amazing person, warrior that fortifies a lot of things. Okay, no, for real, guys. I just like appreciate how he held Terra, so to speak, along with Sanguinius and Jagatai Khan, and all the things that he must do in order to hold the front, like hold it. And he was so hurt about, the treachery, the heresy, what Horus did. When we did that Battle Morn, I'm sorry if I butcher his name, video requested by my dear Primarch Edvartus, sorry. Sorry if I missed the letter there. But yeah, when we did all of that coverage, just amazing story. Like, he dramatized a lot, but I understand how, Rogo will feel, knowing how serious he was and how strongly he believed in this imperium. And he did so much to build each and every world that was made compliant, conquered. He wanted to make sure that the people there are like taken care of before he moved to another world, and the Imperial Fist there, such a disciplined Space Marines. This is one of the best, the best legions, more disciplined, more serious, like very serious. And in a way, you can say maybe that's a bit boring. I mean, maybe somebody will say that, I don't know, but I just appreciate it because it's really amazing quality, and they display willpower, like willpower that some people cannot even fathom. And that is extremely valuable, because building willpower in general is very hard about whatever it is. You have to be extremely convicted and decisive in your reasoning while you're doing something. And when you're convinced, in your goal, you're dedicating everything that you can to that, and you're focused, like laser focused on that. It's the same with training, your goals in life, all of that. And if you can accomplish this state of mind, you are really fortifying yourself, and then from that position you can go on and achieve whatever you want. So he is he is like the embodiment of this very, very like important qualities that a lot of people should have, and you can strive towards that. So like I said in the beginning, the Primarchs, they're very, in a way, immature. I mean, each and every Primarch is somehow immature. They either have too much pride, they're like very easily offended, or something like this. But at least RoboDorn, he has more positive qualities that actually work, and they're like actually practically applicable to his role, as a Primarch, as somebody that the Emperor can really count on to the last aspect. So he is amazing. I mean, he also, yeah, he he deserves to be in number one in a way. Yeah, in a lot of ways actually. But this is kind of like now I'm splitting hairs, who I like more and why. So he is here. Next number, guys. Next number before I lose my voice here. Next number, number 4, is, for some reason, I have to ask myself now why, but is Vulcan. So, Vulcan, guys. Vulcan lives. Okay, so Vulcan, guys. What to tell you? I just appreciate extremely much about him. That's what I really like. How, like, I don't know, like, just where to begin. So, okay, he is one of those, I mean, like the only Primarch maybe that cares the most about the people, because everybody else seems like, oh yeah, we are fighting about the Imperium and the survival of humanity, and at the end of the day, like, little people just don't matter. Like, they're just cannon fodder. They're just like, collateral damage. I mean, nobody cares. I mean, that's how it seems. But he is one of those Primarchs that actually, puts a value on a human life, like above, the ways that the other Primarchs do. So that makes him, very virtuous. And the fact that, yeah, he is a perpetual, which is one of the coolest things. Like, the coolest things. I really love that. He's the only one that got this gene from his father. And although he was killed so many times, and yeah, that's why I place him here, because he was killed so many times, and he was tortured in most horrible ways by Conrad Curse. So many brutal ways, like cut off his head, and yeah, a lot of other things. I think he has done to him, like put him to different trials in a very sinister way, in the way that he wouldn't win. It was just ridiculous. And he, not only that he didn't turn, because he could have turned, he could have like summon some of the chaos gods and be like, if you get me out of the situation, I will be loyal to you now. No, he was still freaking loyal to the Emperor, although he didn't quite understand all the reasoning that the Emperor had, especially judging by some of their conversations. He is still, loyal, and believes that his father has the better way, at least. I mean, the right way. I don't know if it's like he believed that it would. I mean, the Emperor is the right. He has all the right answers, but at least he is the way that he should follow. You can say that. So I just so appreciate his willpower. His willpower to get back to life again, to remain with his sanity, get through this, and still appear and be a beacon of hope, and to inspire his legion. So, yeah, what to tell you. And now it's time for it's time for. Well, we actually ran out. No, I either missed someone because we are at the end. I mean, there's only 2 Primarchs left, so Vulcan should be number 3, and yeah. Okay, let's just say who are the first 2, but I don't think I missed someone. Just let me check if I did miss someone. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Have not missed anyone yet. Okay, reading. Going through all the names. Okay. Oh, I missed someone. I I think I. Oh, I missed someone, guys. That's why. That's why. Oh no. Okay, let me check. Oh my. Yes, I missed someone. Well, the guy that I missed, I can't tell you who it is. Let us, because he is not in the top 3, so we are going to get to the last 2 because they still stand, they're still the same, and then I'm going to tell you who I missed because you will probably know when I tell you the first 2. So that technically, really, number 2 now is Rebute. Just funny to say it like that. Okay, Rebute Gilman. So Mr. Gilman here, I put him in number 2. Yeah, thank you, Evie. Because, he is the closest thing to an emperor. He has his own empire, Ultramar. I mean, he has his own, his own system, basically. And if it wasn't for the Imperium, his system will be the biggest in the galaxy that one man is set to rule. And I just appreciate, how when he grew up, how he managed to save his people. He got to a big hurt, when he lost his adoptive father, but he still had some reason and actually some wisdom in some of his actions. And when the emperor arrived, he was extremely impressed by what Rebutes already accomplished there. So he is just most fit to rule, I think, in that regard, because he has the most experience. His system actually is, well, is flourishing. Well, not the whole system, because I did read that latest comic book about Magnus Kaugar, and it shows there that some of the planets are not really that good, in a good state, and people do suffer from hunger, and like the middle age is like 30 years old or something. So it's not like all roses and rainbows, but as a leader compared to everyone else, he is the most fit to rule, and that's why he is now like a replacement of the Emperor Regent, I think. I think that was his title, but correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, he has some qualities like arrogance, of course, like who doesn't? Well, not well. Yeah, actually, you can say that maybe Vulcan is not that arrogant, and RoboDorn is also not that arrogant. But yeah, of course, yeah, he has a bit of that. He is a bit like cynical in some aspects, but overall, he is one of the best warriors that the Imperium ever had, and he has nobility, and he does have honor, so he has a lot of very good qualities. And his ultramarines, as annoying as maybe you think them to be, I don't know, they're still one of the best legions, yeah, in the Imperium, so they do the job, so to speak. So yeah, he is, and he looks cool. I just like how he looks. His Greco-Roman style, and I just love his blue armor with the golden ego and all of that. Just love it. And number 1, before I can tell you who we missed, is dun, 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 Sanguinius. Yes, it's Sanguinius. Yeah. Space Caesar. Yeah, I could agree with that. Although Caesar is a lot, I mean, he's worse. But anyway, we can argue about that. At least Caesar is a real person, so you can actually measure if he's worse or not. Anyway, so Sanguinius, the angel. Yeah. Okay, let me concentrate. So he's one of those guys with interesting story, you know, how he was found, and the people that found him, they noticed the the amazing wings, and they were like, "Oh, is this like a demonic? What the heck?" But then, of course, he was saved after all, and he had very good upbringing to a point. He became awesome and a great leader, and he has this the ability to perceive things, to have visions. So he saw the coming of the emperor, and he was like, "Oh, father, yes." I just like Sanguinius because he is so mighty, like so mighty. The fact that he's one of the first, if not the first, that defeated a demon in front of the gates of Terra. Then he held the gate while, RoboDorn was trying to save the other end of things. And he fought for hours and hours and hours and hours. He probably foresaw his death at the hands of Horus, but he still went and did what he had to do to weaken him. Maybe all of that was, I mean, that should have been something that he maybe saw. So he decided to, yeah, maybe if I go there, make this hole of his hole in Horus's armor that could enable the Emperor to defeat him. And maybe he saw all of that. He decided to go and just sacrifice himself, but to the very end he was noble, he was brave, he was extremely strong. He didn't display any fear. He just fought to his last breath, like literally. And I don't know, he's one of the most pure, and the other Primarchs always regarded him with great respect, and they did say that he is the one that mostly resembles the Emperor in a lot of aspects, and his majesty and light and all of that. So I can resonate with his qualities and just amazing image. And yeah, I think that he is more of like the complete package. Also, the Blood Angels are cool. Well, they do have the Blood Rage, but they always, I mean, there's always something, so yeah. But I think that, I mean, at least to me, he is like the coolest. And some other characters came out that are super cool out of his lore, like Dante, and there was one other person, I think. I can barely speak now for so much hours. So that was the top 20, and now let's see who I missed and who I totally forgot to put here. And which place he would have been. That's also a very interesting question. I suppose that you already figured out who it was. But just let me put him here. Okay. Here he is. Oh, I see why I didn't see him. Just a bit of a dark picture, like the other. So, here he is, Lion L. Johnson. So yeah, Mr. Lion here. I'm a bit, what to tell you? I mean, he to me he is like similar to Lehman Russ. He just like maybe from another country, Lehman Russ. That's how I see him, basically. there's just not a lot about him that, what to tell you, I don't know. But he would have been between somewhere, yeah, after Lehman Russ, between Lehman Russ and Korax, yeah. That was his place. So I wrote to myself, number 10, yeah, he should be number 10. So he was actually number 10, yeah, the lion. He is cool and all, I mean, especially that armor just awesome. But he's also like displaying some qualities that I really don't like. Like the arrogance part. But he's a great warrior. Yeah, just not, what can I say, just not one of my favorites that much. We'll see further on when I get to all the novels that more include him, but yeah, he would be number 10. Okay, guys. So, his chapter, a bunch of dicks. maybe. I haven't gotten like in super detailed in all of the chapters. Like for some, I just know a lot more than others. So, yeah. Okay, I just got really tired from speaking for 1 hour. I'm just gonna look at your comments real quick, guys. If you want to share something with me, now it's the time before I go. But this was really awesome. You can also let me know what else you like to see as top 10 or top 20 or whatever. Just if you have any ideas, I'm open to them. Oh yeah, you can always learn something else. Of course, there's always something more to learn. Yeah, dear Ivy. Yeah, drink water, mineral water, and tea to be very healthy and 0 calories. Yeah, he would like that. Yes. I wonder, if their Primarchs and their genes are so cool, they can eat so many things and not get fat. Because knowing how Lehman Russ ate the whole storage room basically of food when he had his contest with the Emperor, they don't seem to get fat. They're just muscle, which is awesome. So yeah, I'm just interested about that. Top 10 Imperial Guard regiments. Okay, let me copy and paste that to write it down. But that will require research because I'm not yet that much into the Imperial Guard. I know that there's some cool, of course, especially some of the warriors are pretty famous. So they are something. They're not just oh look, humans, let them just be killed, they actually do the work as well. Top 10 Necron lords. That's cool too. Once again, it's one of those things that I'm gonna take my time on so I can learn them first. I started with more of the Imperium and the human part of things, the Primarchs, so to speak, the Emperor, now the Horus Heresy, all of that is going around this story, so there's not that many Xenos included. So that's why, that is just my focus, but that doesn't mean that I cannot, just deviate for a bit and learn something for a particular top 10. I'm gonna learn it anyway. Just going by order, humans first. Okay. Valhallian Ice Warriors. That's interesting. Is that supposed to be from the world of Lehman Russ? Because once again, he is so Thor. You just sold Thor. Might as well just write Thor on his forehead. Steel Legion. Steel Legion. Well, also, I wanted to do top 10 legions, not trader legions, or maybe top 10 just like the main legions, like the Primarchs legions, not the successor chapters. So top 10 Legionnaires Astartes. Because I was asked many times who is my favorite legion, and I have not yet decided on that. So it's a good thing to continue. I mean, it's logical from top 10 of the Primarchs to continue with top 10 of the legions, because, you know, each Primarch has a legion. So, yeah. Maybe. Okay, guys, so that's gonna be it. It's midnight. It was very interesting. My first top 20 Primarchs. I wanted to do this for a long time. And so, guys, I'm just going to hold on. I want to paste something in the chat. Just hold on. Okay. So, guys, whoever is new, I'm pasting our Discord, which is Golden Astartes. So you are free to join and to participate, create topics, whatever you like. I also have a topic there, by the way, about the books that I'm currently reading, and I'm also checking them out, so you can see in real time where I am in terms of the books, also the novels and other stuff. I mean, post memes, videos, informative stuff, suggest topics, whatever you like. But if you become a member of the Imperium, I mean, a member of the channel, Astartes, Custodius, or Primarch, if you're a Primarch, you can request one video each month, well, along with all the other perks. But the point is that you can request one video each month, whatever you like. I'm going to cover it, even if it's like a 3-part video series, still counts, like in the case with RoboDorn that I did. So just have this in mind, and if not, you can get, with the Astartes, you can get just great emojis, badges, and Custodies also get some vector images that I do, and there's some gifts. All of that is just written down below. So if you'd like to support me, the links, everything is down below. Also, my OnlyFans for meaningful sex educational and relationship content, and Patreon. You know, I just really lost my voice, guys. So, oh yeah, those are the amazing icons. Thank you for that. So I appreciate very much your support, guys, and thank you for being with me with this with that live stream of top 20 Primarchs. See you very soon, probably tomorrow. I'm going to announce the stream as soon as I can, so you'll know when I'm live. And as always, guys, lots of love, amazing 40K lore, just amazing community. I love it, and I'm just happy to continue learning each and every day. So, guys, bye bye. Love ya, my dear Garrities, Golden Astartes. Good night.